Hello and welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. My name is Joy and I am so excited to be here to break down the dynamics of this dynamic lunar solar eclipse. This is happening in the axis of Scorpio and Taurus, which are two feminine houses. Scorpio is a water sign and Taurus is an earth sign. Both being feminine, that means that we are working with more of the yin energy with this particular eclipse. And we are working to really transmute pain through the body so that we can find pleasure in this lifetime. This particular axis is very potent when it comes to life, death, rebirth, and being able to look at patterns within ourselves, deeply seated patterns that create motives in our lives that we might not even be aware of, and really actually seeing those patterns with this particular axis being illuminated. And through the body, through experiencing grounding techniques, through yoga, things that work us into our body, we're able to work through the tension and trauma that our bodies have hung on to, and to elevate past trauma and pain and into pleasure. So this particular eclipse is a culmination, an ending of a cycle that began on November 21st of 2021 when the solar eclipses began in this axis. And here we are all these years later at the culmination point. It's also a very potent culmination and ending for Pluto that has been in Capricorn, breaking down old ways of being, societal boxes that don't really serve our highest good. This is coming to an end. And Pluto has been squaring the eclipses this eclipse cycle, the first one being on October 14th in the house of Libra. Now we're here in a couple weeks later, October 28th, in the house of Venus, or rather Taurus is being illuminated. Well, guess what, friends? I just kind of gave it away, but Venus rules both of these houses where the eclipses have happened this October. So that means that themes around Venusian topics, love, relationships, the way we earn money, our creative expression of ourselves, and then the opposite spectrum of Venus, what we don't find that we love, how we're maybe mismanaging money, where relationships are not serving us. These sort of things have really been highlighted with this particular eclipse season. And Venus has been going through quite a process of transformation since this summer when she went retrograde in Leo. And now has been moving through the house of Virgo, trying to really find independence and sovereignty in a whole new way of loving ourselves. So this particular eclipse is really beautiful in the fact that the day after, or actually a couple days, on the 31st, we have Venus making a beautiful trine aspect to Uranus. Currently, on the day of the eclipse, Uranus is at 21 degrees of Taurus and Venus is at 18 degrees. So they're almost to that perfect exact point, which won't happen until Halloween. But they're in that degree range where they're definitely talking to one another. So Venus is really coming to a culmination herself, an ending point of really working through pain and shame and where we felt repressed and suppressed, because Black Moon Lilith was very much a part of the retrograde process of Venus, and where we've wanted to recommit ourselves to loving ourselves better and the people in our lives. So here we go with this big culmination of many aspects, a cycle with the north and south nodes. That's what eclipses are. This particular eclipse is a north node eclipse. So we are working with destiny, towards purpose, towards pushing ourselves into places that don't feel super comfortable. So since November 21st, 2021, how have you felt yourself become much more comfortable than when you were there? See the growth, acknowledge where you've come. And now with this particular eclipse, we're able to look at maybe deep-seated patterns and motives that we, bred into that cycle of eclipses from November 21st. And maybe now we have the opportunity to make some changes, clip some things out, sever some things out. This particular eclipse is special in the fact that the two houses that are being illuminated by the sun and the moon, Scorpio is where the sun is at 5 degrees, and Taurus is where the moon is at 5 degrees, also contain a lot of other characters. This is a really potent axis. We have in Scorpio at 5 degrees the sun, and 10 degrees is Mercury. Right next to Mercury at 11 degrees is Mars. This dynamic duo is something that I wanted to highlight and read a little passage to you in the Archetypal Universe book by Rin Butler, a favorite by many astrologers. But this dynamic duo really potently charging up this eclipse here has to share this energy. A sharp and passionate mind, mental energy and determination, a talent for clear and decisive communication, pointed humor, a tendency towards sharp opinions and arguments, rash, heated words, pointed sarcasm or insults, hectic mental stress. We have the warrior and the communicator holding hands during this eclipse. So we can definitely have some heated conversations, some passionate, courageous conversations on the other spectrum. So watching our words and maybe having some more flamboyance to our words. I was personally born with Mars and Mercury right next to each other, actually at the very beginning part of Taurus. So this particular eclipse is right on my 5-degree Mercury, or 4 degrees, so 1 degree off, but very much an energy that likes to use profanity. I'm a pirate at heart with Mars conjunct Mercury. But this is definitely energy that is opposing Jupiter. So across from Scorpio, we have the house of Taurus, this axis, right, that we're working with. And opposite from this 10 degree, 11 degree Mars Mercury is Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter has been going retrograde, so we've been working with maybe some old things from our past, things that could help us to really illuminate our purpose and our knowing, our wisdom, but people, things from our past that can really also help us through these Venusian topics of evolving through how we make money in relationships and all things that we find creative and expressive and beautiful. So working with this axis, we have the body. Taurus represents the bowl, that energy that is able to ground into the earth and, stabilize, stability, this really grounded big animal that can plow fields and provide sustenance. So it is this energy that provides comfort to the body, to these earthy qualities of things that we need in the reality to do life, where Scorpio is kind of the opposite. It is more of the realm of the unseen, the hidden. It is where we find our motives, these deep analytical, psychoanalytical qualities of ourselves. So it's very much this mysterious energy. I like to think of it as the portal energy. It's like a woman's womb where we reach from the physical world and we create, and then we bring out through this portal of our womb this actual physical being. And so it is powerful energy. It's death, it's birth, it's rebirth. It is the cycle of life. So very deep, rich depth to this energy. And it also brings in the taboo, right? This unseen world. What is this all about? So spirits. And this time of year is something where we're very in all cultures, really paying homage towards people that have died, our ancestors. So communication is very much a part of this Scorpio, but a deep, probing, analyzing communication. So much so that we can bring out tendencies towards obsessions, towards like OCD type things that we can get fixated on. Fear. So these are the types of things that through the body we're able to feel it, move through it, and alchemize it. So this axis can be very transformative, and that's what Scorpio is. It wants you to go deep and to transform, to see the hidden layers of motives and heal anything that is not really up to your your highest level of being. And so a lot of therapists you'll find have Mercury in Scorpio, and then you add in this Mars energy, and that is just the ability to go towards any phobias or fears and really transmute them with this particular eclipse. So very exciting that it's opposite Jupiter, because Jupiter wants to expand and heal these things and really will shine those spotlights on those parts that need that loving. So Taurus moon, though. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So this is a sensual place. This is a place where we want to transmute pain so that we can experience pleasure and electrify the five senses. This is all about electrifying the body. And with Mars opposite Jupiter in the moon, Mars represents not only the warrior archetype, but sex, those primal urges, that desirous nature within us. So this particular eclipse is most definitely pointing towards, if you're able to transmute pain, able to get rid of those patterns of yuck, you're actually really able to step into a higher level of pleasure through this particular eclipse, whatever that looks like for you. And then we are also, working with that culmination of Pluto. Pluto is squaring the first eclipse on October 14th and is still squaring this one with the nodes being activated by Pluto. So we're working with a deep transformation around all of this. Venus has transformed. We have gone through a revolution of change since this summer in the way that we show up in our relationships and the way that we love ourselves and want to earn money, that is more tuned to this deep, desirous nature of Scorpio that we've always had this inkling that we could achieve, but maybe we've been too scared to step into our full power. So this axis of Scorpio and Taurus is asking you, friends, to harness your beliefs deep down inside that you are enough, and actually step into your fullness. The beautiful part about this is the next day after our eclipse is when the exact conjunction of Mercury and Mars comes together. And so, if you have the urge to reach out and have a conversation with someone, have that courage to have a hard conversation, just make sure, friends, that you ground yourself into your body, into that Taurus energy before you have that conversation that is so potent on Sunday, the 29th. And then, like I said, the 31st, we have the trine of Venus and Uranus. So all of this revolution energy is really electrified with an explanation point by the universe on the 31st. It is very much a culmination of Venus coming into a whole new level and layer of maturity and wisdom. And we are breaking old cycles when it comes to Venus. Pluto in this 2-decade story in Capricorn representing structures of power and old ways of doing things, with Venus leading the way of transforming the way we love and do life, holding hands with Black Moon Lilith. We have been working to step into a whole new level of being that does say goodbye to old ways of being. So intense, my friends, passionate. This is Scorpio energy, but it is incredibly transformative. So I hope you take the time in this full moon times 10. You gotta love the eclipse cycles, to just take a moment to sit on Mother Earth, to feel the yin energy flowing in your life, and to acknowledge a bright new beginning that is happening. A whole new level of maturity is arisen within our community, within our society. We are burning and purging out old stories that are no longer part of this next future. So yes, it is hard. It is giving birth, friends. We are moving through that portal, right? And those contractions, that pain, is what ultimately leads us to the pleasure of holding that little baby in our hand. And this death portal that we are working through on our planet is painful. War is painful. But the more that we can hold on to love and to working through the pain and actually saying hello to it, breathing into it, acknowledging it, and working through it. That's how we work through the portal, and how we get from this, nebulous world and into a reality that we really want to create. Heaven on earth, that is Taurus. And so through the portal of pain, we go so that we can bring in heaven on earth, friends. So that is this eclipse energy. I'm so excited to leave you with all of that you can sit with and ponder. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to share this planet with you. Much love, much joy. Mwah.